Other artist who I think it's very hard to pin down your expectations for them at this point. That's Willow Smith. Last time we talked about Willow Smith was 2019, and I'm trying to remember what was our take on Willow. I think we were pretty lackluster on it, right?
Yeah, I believe she's done a lot of music lately, and it's kind of been jumping around a lot. I believe that was the jazz-ish album, blues.
Hmm.
Definitely not what this new one is, anyway. And it was like I think you could tell she was coming into her own as like a real artist, as a relative adult, considering she
Hmm.
has been known as a musician in one form or the other for over 10 years at this point. With My Hair was 2011. It's been a long time for her. She's only 20 now, I think it is, right? Or
I
22,
think so.
whatever it is. She's young, 20, I think. And I think that was kind of my takeaway, right? Like she didn't seem as advanced as Jaden in terms of her career, but that seems to have quickly changed. You look on
Mhm.
Spotify, the monthly listeners are there. She is racking up streams at this point, and I'm not sure exactly when the pivot to pop punk was happening, but it's happened in full, aesthetic wise and music wise, following the footsteps of Machine Gun Kelly and Olivia Rodrigo. Something it's a very mainstream subgenre in pop for famous people right now. And whether it's something Willow's really into or not from her youth, who can I like what how can I speak to that? But on one hand, like I don't even know, does the authenticity matter to you? Because like she has jumped around a lot, but also she's so young that like if she is gonna trying to find her voice, find her sound, it's not it doesn't come off it didn't come it doesn't come across to me as like trend chasing as much as Machine Gun Kelly's pivot did, because MGK was just much older and
Mhm.
more seasoned in his career. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, how'd you feel about this just change?
Totally shocked, honestly. Like I when I started playing the album, I was put it on as I was doing other stuff, and I immediately checked my phone. I was like, I think I put the wrong album on, because it just was not at all what I was expecting from her. I mean, this is the artist who blew up with "I Whip My Hair Back and Forth," and like you
Mhm.
said, her last album we reviewed was, I think, a little bit more in the same lane as someone like Ari Lennox or something like that. And then this was a totally different energy. And I think I kind of chalked this up to Willow being maybe one of the most like Gen Z artists out there right now. Cause I think she really just does not want to be pinned down to any one genre or sound. I think, like you said, she's kind of still exploring her artistry. And knowing her and Jaden and just kind of like the third eye stuff that's so associated with them, I'm really not surprised to see a switch up like this because I think they're always kind of like trying to subvert what you expect from them. So while I was surprised when I first listened, I was also pretty taken by how good I thought this album sounded. You have Tyler Cole collaborating with her and obviously producing most of this again. But you have Travis Barker on a couple of tracks. You have Tierra Whack showing up. Avril Lavigne. I mean,
You're not doing pop punk if you're not bringing Avril back. We know the Avril comeback is well underway at this point.
and I thought that song was pretty good. Not gonna lie, and Avril Lavigne sounded pretty good. So, what was your take? Did you enjoy this?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I did. I don't know if I was necessarily wowed by anything, but like Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You," carbon copy of Paramore's "Misery Business," but it still kind of strikes you as a song, even if it's more or less a carbon copy, a clone, if you will. Willow almost, I think, is just being more I don't want to say generic, but more less specific in her influence of with this pop punk, right?
Mhm.
And I think her performance is really good. A song like the like what I think is the second single, "Transparent Soul" with Travis Barker, like the way she belts out that hook, the transparency, like it's convincing, Um, "Lipstick," another song I thought she was really good on,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, it's pretty tight, sub 30 minutes. Definitely her most interesting album to date. I'd say that's quite obvious.
Yeah, I agree on the vocal performance on Lipstick. You know that like like it really just grabs you. It's such a impressive, I think, vocal um, just like display. But w- I wanted to ask you because we haven't heard a lot from Tierra Whack recently. How did you feel about that verse that she does at the end of Extra?
I like that song a lot. It definitely was like a jolt of energy towards the end of the
Yeah,
album.
for
Just
sure.
I want a new Tierra Whack project, man. She's been popping up in guest spots kind of consistently, but we haven't had anything from her since Whack World. It's been a while.
Yeah, I just loved hearing her, and I feel like there's got to be something around the corner from her. Um, but overall, I thought everything on this worked. I don't know if any of it, like you said, was like blow me away good, but sometimes with Travis Barker too, you see him as like featuring Travis Barker. He's just giving his like a drum solo or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but still, I thought like the features worked pretty well, and I'm interested just to see where she goes next. I feel like she made a quality album. Maybe she'll continue in this lane, or maybe the next one will be something completely different. Who knows?
Right.
But I
I,
appreciate that about Willow.
yeah, I agree. In terms of Travis Barker features, I feel like they're just basically a flag that, hey, this was actually a performed percussion and not just a drum kit on the computer. So be happy about it, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Um, any last thoughts on Willow?
Keep doing your thing, girl. It's cool to see her and Jaden really becoming actual artists, given that they're coming from the silver spoon. No one had high expectations for a while, and they're seeming to earn it. It's nice to see.